Are you downsizing? Maybe need more room because of additions to the family, or possibly seeking that dream home you've always wanted? Well, Tim Eisner at Royal LePage Atlantic is the guy for you. With a proven track record and multiple awards, Tim goes above and beyond to find out your needs and exactly what you're looking for. So if you're seeking a new home or trying to sell your current one, contact Tim at 902-499-5717 or check him out on Facebook at Tim Eisner. Again, that's 902-499-5717. Trust me, when all is said and done, we'll be saying Tim Eisner strikes again. Hey, what is going on? Hope everyone had a fantastic weekend. Welcome to episode 102 of Outside the Chute. I'm your host, Randy Frame. Well, the final roster is set for the third championship season of Athletes Unlimited Softball, which will run from July 29th to August 28th, with all games returning to the Chicago area at the Parkway Bank Sports Complex in Rosemont, Illinois. Athletes Unlimited Softball features 35 athletes with national team experience among its 60 competitors, including 19 former Olympians, playing 30 games over 4 weeks. Tickets can be purchased at auprosports.com/tickets, and all games will be broadcast live exclusively on ESPN2, ESPNU, and ESPN+. 9 former guests of ours will be competing this season, and I can't wait to watch. Athletes Unlimited Softball is building on the recent wave of momentum for women's softball, including Athletes Unlimited recent expansion, AUX Softball in San Diego, which drove a 74% increase in viewership, a 268% increase in social media engagement, and a 783% jump in web traffic to auprosports.com over comparable periods the year before. That's absolutely incredible. If you haven't checked out AU Softball and you're in the Chicago area or you have ESPN, I highly advise you to do so. On to this week's guest, and we sat down and chatted with Arizona State Sun Devils alum and current head coach at Central Arizona College, Maddi Hackbarth. Maddi had a stellar NCAA career, getting her start at Fresno State before transferring to Arizona State, where she would go on to become an All-American. She most recently competed in Athletes Unlimited AUX in San Diego, where she finished an impressive 21st in the points standings. We're going to talk to Maddi about getting her start in the game, her recruiting process, the transfer to Arizona State, an epic game that her and her twin sister Kindra had, and her time at Athletes Unlimited, and much, much more. Maddi was an absolute pleasure to chat with, and I'm very excited to see what the future holds for her moving forward. With that being said, grab that drink, sit back, relax, because here we go.
I got the world in my palm, like camera action, it's on. I can't describe what I'm feeling, ain't never felt this freedom. I got the world in my palm, like camera action, it's on. Ain't never felt this freedom. Could you say that anything goes, anything goes, anything goes, anything goes, anything goes, anything goes. You wanna know me? Real deal hip hop.
All right, here we go. Maddi, thanks so much for coming on the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
How's things going down in Arizona today?
They're good. A little warm. I got a good workout in this morning. A little cardio, a little lift. And, doing some meal prep.
Right
Trying to
on.
get back into shape. Getting out of being a student athlete. It can be a little rough on the body, but excited to get back in the gym and stuff. But, it's a little warm out. Gotta love Arizona in the summertime.
Well, it's only 108 degrees. That's cold, isn't it?
Some people maybe, but I don't know those kind of people.
Actually, what's funny? Like, I'm on the east coast of Canada here, and like for the next 3 days going forward, it's 86 feeling like 99. So, I mean, for us, that's pretty warm.
Yeah, that's insane. I've never been able to have the opportunity to go out to Canada. My older brother and his son, my nephew, they've been up to Canada a couple times for BMX racing. So,
oh, nice.
Hopefully one day I'll be able to make my way over there.
Right on. Yeah, I mean, it's quite in the summer. Actually, we only really have a bad 3 or 4 weeks of winter, and that's it on the East Coast anyway. So, I mean, other than that, it's great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Love to hear that for you.
So I guess first off, while it's relatively still fresh, congrats on the new head coaching gig at Central Arizona College.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
How'd that all come about anyway?
My friend, she who I played at ASU with, she was working there. And, knew kind of that I was given lessons and whatnot, and that I wanted to get into coaching. And so she had me come out to a practice one day in the fall, and got to talk to the head coach and kind of see, if we can work some things out, and so got to go out there, be a part of the last maybe month and a half of the fall. Loved it out there. And then, got to coach during the spring, see what season's all about. Never done the JUCO route. I've heard of JUCOs. There's nothing against JUCOs. After being around it, it's very eye-opening. A lot of talent go through the program. About five of our sophomores have moved on to a university on very good offers and scholarships. So that's very rewarding, and probably the biggest thing that, I've taken from the first year of coaching. And the head coach at this last year, Shelby Davis, she actually got the AD job at the school. And so I decided to take my shot and apply for the job, and I'm happy that I got it, and, get to give my knowledge and, my experiences and stuff to these younger kids that are coming up. It's always been a goal of mine to be a head coach. And I'm happy that I'm getting to start that process and that career a year out of college. Very happy about that and honored. Not a lot of people get to get that opportunity, and so I'm going to make sure that I take advantage of it. And get the girls out where they want to go. So yeah.
Yeah, you don't see it too often that, you're just 1 year removed from college and you're getting a head coaching gig. And I mean, what's the, what do you see as the biggest difference between JUCO and Division I?
Obviously, I think kind of just the pace of the game, just the schedule in general, right. Routine's a little bit different for these student athletes at this level, but, our job as coaches is to prepare them, use what we know and make sure that they're getting their schoolwork done, make sure that they're getting 1% better. I took that away from Coach Ford. And what I learned when I was playing for her at ASU was, every day you're going to get 1% better. Whatever that looks like for you individually, you're going to put in the work and you're going to do that. So kind of just ingraining that into these kids' minds, whether that's in the classroom, whether that's, making breakfast in the morning or between the lines. And I think just honestly the routine every day. And I could sit here and say the level, but of ball in general, but I think it honestly comes down to the coach. What are you willing to sacrifice for these kids to get to be at that level? So that way, when they're there, they're not shocked. They're not culture shocked.
Yeah.
What's the best way for you to make sure that they're prepared for, the juggle and the struggle that they might go through? If you can help them a little bit better, make it harder here. That way, when it gets to the next level, that they're going to sit and be proud that they went through what they went through. That way, they're prepared for when they get to the next level. If that makes sense.
Yep. No, absolutely, 100%. Well, we have a little thing that we like to kick off the podcast with. I know we're 6 minutes in already, but hey, it doesn't matter. It's our show.
Never too late.
Exactly. So call it quick pitches. I'm going to throw out some random questions to you. And you love these, don't you?
I'll be honest, though, I've never been able to. I've always kind of had these things, and I've never was like, and then something random. But you know what? I am excited for it a little, but let's do it.
I call it quick pitches. You don't have to answer quick. Anyway, first one. If you had to live off one meal for a week, what is it?
Ooh, that's a good one. Chicken, jasmine rice, any kind of vegetable.
Nice. Biggest thing you miss at Arizona State?
Coach Ford.
Good one. Best walk-up song you've used?
Ooh. Ain't No Mountain High Enough by Marvin Gaye. That was a song that
Get out of here. What?
From the movie Stepmom.
Yeah.
It's my favorite movie growing up, and me and my mom would sing it during All Over the House. We would kind of reenact that bedroom scene.
Yeah.
But yeah, I use that as my walk up, in dedication to my mom and just everything that she's done for me. So
nice.
I wouldn't be where I am now without her. And so I think, in all honesty, that's probably the best thing, just good vibes, a little calm. You don't want to get too crazy. No. That's right. Yeah. I mean, geez, if something, look back on that and, you have that memory and using that, it definitely would put you in a, like a calm demeanor going to the plate, I guess. Yeah.
Next one. If you could go anywhere in the world on vacation, where is it?
Hawaii. I am actually, my dad's part Hawaiian, so to be able to go back and kind of get a little bit closer to my roots.
Right on.
Kind of figure what that lifestyle is. I would love to do that.
Right on. If you could go back and play one game over again, which one is it?
My junior year when we played Utah, we won in what was the score?
18-17?
Yeah, that game.
I'm going to bring that up.
me and my sister had multiple home run games. We had hit the home runs in the same inning. So if I can go back and kind of relive that with her, that'd be great. I know that was exciting just in general for the program and to set a history like that and play with my sister my whole life. So to be able to set records just in general and, bring that kind of atmosphere to Farrington, that was really cool.
Right on. We're gonna dive into that one in a little bit. Two more here. Favorite TV show growing up as a kid?
Ooh, Full House.
Oh, nice. Good choice. Can't beat Uncle Jesse and Danny and Joey.
Yeah. Me and my sister would be glued to the TV when that came on.
Yeah. Last one. Your favorite uniform color combo with the Sun Devils?
Ooh. When my first couple of years, it was probably the all black, but I think, I'm actually staring at my framed jersey right now, and it was the the throwback Devils white with the gold sleeves.
Oh yeah.
We wore that one a lot this last year, and so I really fell in love with it. That's probably my favorite. White pinstripes or the stirrups with the multiple colored stripes on it. Yeah.
Man, you guys had so many. You guys had so many color combinations. It was ridiculous.
No, it was insane. And then even for them to switch it up this last year with the gold uniforms and the white, they did a little vintage throwback look. And at first I was like, I don't know, but then I still don't know about it, but it was kind of cool just to see what they could come up with.
What's it like getting all the, when it's, I guess we'll call it swag day, when you get all your stuff at the beginning of the season and you're like, holy cow, there's a lot of stuff here.
It's insane. Everybody's, everybody that gets asked that question, I feel like says, it's like Christmas. You're like, you open up the bag and you're like, oh, there's that. And then wait, there's that. And then there's that. And it's just like an ongoing thing. At ASU, you had to work for that gear. And so I truly enjoyed, being able to kind of have that accountability and responsibility that it's on you. If you want to have that gear and represent the school, that you need to, put in some work. You had to pass your running test coming back from break in order to get the new gear. But you had that. You had glove day. You came back from break, you had more gear. You go to regionals, you get gear. You go to supers, you get gear. You go to the World Series, you even get more gear.
Jeez.
It's just an ongoing thing. You break a bat, you get a new one. You need new batting gloves, it's right there. Something happens to your sock, you get new ones. You rip your pants, you get a new pair. So it was definitely cool, just to be able to have all of that. And then, on top of it, you just feel taken care of. So it's nice. It's a good feeling.
And I mean, like you said, you gotta pass the conditioning test and everything. I mean, that's something, going forward, you wear it with pride, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I do.
Yeah.
It's, you work hard for it. So try that.
Anyway, let's move on with your career here. Let's go back a few years here, Maddi. Tell us how you got your start in the game.
I transferred from Fresno State. Didn't really know what I was walking into. And I mean when you were little. Oh, when I was little, I thought you were talking about
No.
little.
No, when you first get your start.
I was just a little kid. I was like a little Sandlot kid. Just kind of, found a ball, found a glove in the garage, and I was, hey, what do I do with this? And me and my sister and my older brother just play catch. Sis Bates, she lived down the street, and me, Kindra, and Sis, we would play in the backyard. If we played wiffle ball, we would just play catch. We would go to the field. We just had an itch for the game. Just loved it. And so about 4 years old, we started T-ball, and then we were the only 3 girls on the team with all boys. And it's funny kind of looking back at all those pictures, my mom has a picture of me catching gear back there with just tiny. And then, and remember if it's me or Kindra standing on first base and we're kind of just looking down at this little boy, like, what do you want? Don't mess with me. And then moving on, you climb the ladder, you go up to age groups, and me, Sis, and Kindra all stayed together. We started on the Yankees with T-ball, then we went to the Yankettes. Then we went to we renamed the team the Mean Girls. My parents and Sis's mom and Sis's dad were the coaches for our team. And, you went from T-ball to coach pitch to 9-10s where you actually get to, have a live pitcher.
Yeah.
And, then we went to Smash, which is a little travel ball team where I'm from. And we played 1 year, and then kind of, we all split, but we all stayed in touch because you know how close travel ball is. You see everybody every weekend. Went on to play for the Great Vets. And I was very fortunate that my parents did a lot of research, not just for team to team, but the organization itself. They wanted the best of the best at each level. And they wanted us to stay in, one organization. And so that the Great Vets was it. And we played the Great Vets 12U. Me and Kindra actually the first year did not play together. She was on a different team. And funny story, side note, our teams played each other, and it was so bad that Kindra, unfortunately, poor sis, but she lost very badly. And after the game, we just saw her team running, and I was that stinks. And it was not fun for her. She was like the only one that got on base and all this stuff, and I was, man, that stinks. But she didn't want to feel like that ever again, so she had an early life lesson. And so the next year she was back with me, and after that we jumped up to 16 under. And then when high school came around, we had to find a team to play on. We did that for 1 year, and then after that we played for Dennis Gomes, who is now with the NorCal Batbusters. And we played with him since we were 13, 14, all the way until we graduated. Wow. It was definitely nerve-wracking playing, with kids that are, 3 to 4 years older than you. Yeah. But definitely happy that he invested and he saw something in me and my sister. My dad was on the coaching staff. He ran the outfield. And he was also the liaison, so he talked to all the college coaches for our team, and respect him so much to be like, oh, there's my daughter, this and that. You know, he put other players first. Even if they're like, no, we're here to see, we're here to see your kids. And he was like, okay, we have these. So very good man for him to, do his job correctly.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, absolutely.
Love him for that. Just for him to be a part of that was awesome. And then, obviously we went on to Fresno State.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, we need to be back with Coach Ford. There's a reason why we committed to Fresno State. Because of her. We love her to death. I love her. Like another mom to me. Right. Huge impact on my life, and been at ASU till I was done, and now getting to coach and be on the other side of things. I got to go play a little bit, about 3 weeks ago in the AUX series, so that was really fun. I'm excited to see if hopefully I can play again next year, and now I know kind of what it's like and to expect, and really get after it next year.
Yeah. Now, were you catching right away when you were first started out, or
So no, I don't. To be honest, I don't really remember a lot. I just look at pictures. I'm like, oh, that's me.
Oh, okay.
But I think at that age, you're really just chasing the ball.
Oh yeah.
They hit it back to you like a missed bunt.
Yeah.
But we played all over there. We played infield, outfield. When my parents knew, when our coaches knew that a big hitter was coming up, and if somebody would get on base before us or before them, that we would put one of us, either me, Kindra, or Sis, in the outfield, and we would catch the ball that they hit to us, and then we would throw the runner out at first base. Can't make it up. And it's so funny because people are like, are you serious? We're like, yeah, we're 6 or 7 and we're just hosing people.
Hosing people from center.
But when we had those, the smash tryouts, the 10-under tryouts, no catcher showed up. And so my parents were like, oh, here's some gear. You're going to be the catcher. And so I got into lessons. I had lessons with Missy Corral. She played at Stanislaus, a school in Turlock, California, and I had lessons with her every day. She's actually the reason why I wear number 23. She wore 23, and one day I had to make a decision on what number I was going to wear, and so I asked her, and she kind of gave me the backstory as to why she wore it. Her sister, that was her favorite number, and her sister had passed away. Oh. And so I have held that number very close to me. I have it tattooed on my arm. Wow. But it's definitely been something that I hold near and dear to my heart. Missy was a lot to me. We spent every day together in the heat in our little sandlot field that we had behind a church. Every day for an hour to 2 hours we would spend together.
That's awesome.
So
that's awesome.
I owe a lot of my catching career to her. And obviously representing 23, and what 23 means to me is a lot of things, but being able to share that kind of story, and then, what 23 also means to other people, seeing that number on me and kind of what, that number and that uniform inspired other little kids, is awesome. Not other people do that. So I definitely hold all of those little things near and dear to my heart.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, did you have love for it right away, catching, or was it something that, progressed over time?
I loved it. Honestly, it was just fun to me. I'm in every pitch. This is cool.
Well, you're in control of the game, really, right?
Not so fun part was the blocking.
Yeah.
The not so fun part was getting bruises all over your body, and you're like, are you serious? But then the fun part was, this ball was in the other batter's box, and I framed it, and it was a strike, and you didn't swing, so you're out.
Yeah, exactly.
And then throwing people out, that was fun too. So I fell in love with it. It was something that came to me naturally. So, my parents noticed that and never pushed. Obviously, they're like, oh, you're going to be the catcher. But they never pushed me. I played other positions. I played the infield. I got to pitch too. I would go to lessons. I'd go to my catching lesson, and then I would go in to where I'd do my lesson outside of where my pitching lesson was going to be. Mm-hmm. And then I would go inside, and my pitching instructor, Jimmy Dyson, he has 3 lanes. And so I would go in there, and he would stay in one lane, and I would catch the other 2. until I would be in there for 3 hours. And then I was, okay, Maddie, you got to go do your pitching lesson. And then I would pitch and then I'd go home. Did that a couple times a week. But I loved softball. I fell in love with that at an early age. And I don't think I ever got drained out of it or lost love for the game. I think the hard lesson that I had to learn, and I will tell this to any little kid, was whenever you get that full feeling of when you're done eating, you never get that with softball because there's always room. You know, you never settle that, oh, you're great. You know, you have all these accolades or whatever. You get told you're the best. You never let that get to your head because somebody else that's working twice as hard as you is going to catch up. And I think that was my wake-up call my sophomore year of college. My first year at ASU, I wasn't proud of. I knew that I could be better. And after that, I'm never going to be full of softball. I'm just going to be a nerd with it. So I'm happy that I went through it. And I'm happy that I could share that. And,
absolutely,
always a piece of advice to anybody out there.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. And that's as far as catchers go. I mean, I've been a pitcher for 38 years. I'm actually still pitching, and I find catchers don't get the accolades that they rightfully deserve. Because I mean, they go through everything back there, from us making bad pitches to get, like you said, giving them bruises, to making us look good, to framing the pitches. So I mean, catchers definitely are the biggest part of the game, I find.
Yeah, it's exciting back there.
Yeah, no doubt. Now, I got to ask about the recruiting process. Like, did OU wanted you to commit at a really young age?
Yeah, so Oklahoma was mine and Kindra's first ever visit. We were in the 8th grade.
8th grade?
We were in the 8th grade,
wow.
And we went on a visit, and we did a camp. We met Kaylani Ricketts, and I was looking at her like, oh my goodness.
Wow.
I was looking at her like, hi. And I remember specifically at the camp, catchers were doing throwdowns, and Patty was standing right behind me. And I cannot let a ball hit her. Like, I don't care if I have no chest protector. I don't care if I have no mask on. I am taking it to the chin, to the chest, to the stomach. It's not going to hit her. And the ball, like, I caught it and I looked back and she's like looking at me and hi. I was, oh my goodness, my heart was racing. And then, after the camp, they decided to talk to us and they offered full ride. And I am 14 years old. I have no idea. Unfortunately, they wanted an answer. And, by the time I got back home, and at that point I was, wow, this is real. And I need to make a list. I need to make a pros and cons of what I want. Unfortunately, I had to pass because I didn't know what else was out there.
Right.
And so after that, it was kind of, you're going on visits. I went on a visit to Cal, went on a visit to Washington, camps, multiple visits to Fresno State, multiple visits to Notre Dame. I don't know if many people know. We were committed to Notre Dame our sophomore year. That was our first commit.
Wow. Yeah.
Decided to go a different way after that year. And Coach Ford was right there that next day. And we're like, all right, we'll come see you when we get back. It's only a 2-hour drive. And when, went back and went on probably our 8th unofficial visit. Couldn't get enough of that place. And we left, and we went to the Bulldog shop across the street. And I was like, Mom, we have to go back. Like, I don't know why I left without telling her that I wanted to come here. And so we called her and I said, can you come back outside? So we pulled up and we're like, yes, we want to play for you. We want to come here and be a Bulldog. We held up like a shirt. It was like, we want to wear this. It's like a Bulldog shirt. And we're like, we want to wear this. Like, yes, we want to come here.
Wow.
And they're like, oh my goodness. So it's just really nice to, have that, see that out of somebody that they want you to play for them.
Yeah.
So it was just cool. I know everybody's recruiting process and experience is different, but I'm very grateful for mine. And obviously for my coaches that have been involved and, been a part of my life and helped with it. Obviously my parents I don't think I'll ever be able to thank them enough for everything that they've done, in my life. But I'm happy that I went through, my process. It was, I wouldn't say stressful. I never felt like I needed to make a decision right away. I knew that I had time. I knew that whatever was going to happen was going to happen, and everything was going to play out.
Right.
After that first year, we got a text going in our freshman year, Coach Ford, we were in Cabo. My family was in Cabo on a little vacay. And she sent all of the incoming freshmen a text that, she would be going to coach at ASU. And at that point, we're like, I don't even know what that means, but okay.
Right.
And so then we kind of just waited and kind of just needed to see, what our options were. And it was to fulfill our NLI, play that year. I enjoyed my teammates. I made many trips down to Fresno to watch their softball games, and they always recognized me, said hi, carried on a conversation.
Yeah.
So I wasn't worried about not feeling at home. And I knew too, if I didn't feel kind of okay, that I could go home. And again, it was like an hour and a half drive. Very quick. Obviously, things didn't go as planned that first year. Medical stuff got in the way. A lot of meetings of how do I get back on the field, all this stuff. And a lot of empty promises.
Right.
And at that point it was like, I don't want to play here anymore.
Yeah. Now, sorry. Now, did Coach Ford have a lot of I guess she would have had a lot of connections with, a lot of people in a lot of players in your freshman year? Because wasn't there was a bunch that transferred over there after, you, Kindra, Morgan, correct?
There was 9 girls that left after that first year.
Yeah. So Coach Ford definitely must have had an impact on on you guys.
Yeah, and a lot I'm never going to speak bad on a program or anything.
Right.
Everybody has their own styles and whatnot. It's just, I think a lot of girls got saw or either played for Coach Ford, and they loved that. Yeah. And I think it was kind of a culture shock, and they're like, I want to go see what else is out there. I want to play. A lot of girls that were there, they didn't get to play. They got told playing time, and then they never saw the field. And so a lot of girls left. And, after that day that we all, the exit meetings and whatnot, obviously the transfer portal was not a thing back then.
Right.
And so we had to go through that whole process. And the catcher that was leaving as well, she had went and got her letter. And when I went in, the compliance guy, he called the coach and then got off the phone and said that we had to wait for ours. And I was, well, my teammate just came and got hers, and they should all be the same, but okay, I'll be back. So came back and got mine. And obviously, Mountain West is on there because you can't really transfer in conference. But that Arizona State University was on there. And at that time, the coach can put 3 of their choosing of universities that they can pretty much block you of 3 schools. Oh. And so I asked my other teammate, can you send me a picture of your letter? And no schools were on it besides the Mountain West. And I was okay, well, this isn't fair. So at that point, it was, we had to look at handbooks. We had to look at rules. We had to get in touch with NCAA. And the whole appeal process honestly took about a month.
Wow.
Because we would appeal, we would send a letter in, and then the school would take because they have you have a time. And they would send it on the last day of that time. So we're waiting a week. And we would find another flaw in that. So we would send another appeal back. They would take their time. And at that point, it was, okay, we need to, this obviously needs to go in front of a panel because that was what was in the rule book and the handbook. And so, and Kindra Morgan Howe and I were the only 3 out of those 9 players that got the same list that you couldn't go to Arizona State University, the same block. So all 3 of us on the same day had to go in, and we had our entire papers. We went in one by one, and at that point, we didn't know how much time we were going to get. We thought we'd be able to say like our entire essay that we wrote. And they told us you have about 1 minute to 2 minutes to speak. And we're like, okay. So we set our case. And I think once I left that room, I had to walk outside, and I was just like, the weight was lifted off me. I was in tears. It's out of my control now. And at that point, we were getting our results right when we touched down in ASU for a visit. And it was a 5 to whatever anonymous, we won.
Right.
And me and my mom are just sitting there on the plane just crying like, oh my goodness, because it was very stressful.
Oh, no doubt.
But, got to go enjoy my time and see familiar family faces, Coach Ford and Coach Wynn were both moms and people that, we cared about so much. And so got to go enjoy the visit, and, right before we were about to go leave, and I was, where do I sign? I don't want to do this again, so please don't leave me, but where do I sign? Where do I sign this thing? Because I'm coming. I will see you in a month.
Yeah.
And I think probably the best thing that I could have done for myself. And I think, the other 2 would agree.
Yeah. Now, were you guys, obviously, you guys had to have been welcomed with open arms right away.
Oh, yeah. There was tears, happy tears. I think all of each one of our hugs with the coaches lasted about 5 minutes. Like, did not let go. Nice. Coach Wynn picked us up from the airport, and we hugged, and we're like getting honked at, like, hey, you got to go. Like, you got to move. So definitely like a moment everybody was waiting for.
Yeah, no doubt. So I guess things went, pretty well that sophomore season. I'd say trip to the Women's College World Series for you. What was that experience like?
Incredible, honestly. You always dream of it as a little kid. Like, once you start to realize what the softball world is and what college softball is, and you're like, you watch it on TV, but sometimes you have no idea. You're just like, oh, I'm watching softball. I think it really clicked for me that was a real place. Watching Oklahoma, honestly, and Lauren Chamberlain just absolutely nuking balls into the stands. I want to do that. I want to be in her shoes. Like, I want to be in her cleats in that moment. I want to do that. And so being able to just get on that plane flight and land there, I'm really in Oklahoma City. Then to get to the hotel and everybody's cheering that in the hotel, and they have no idea who you are, but you're just like, oh my goodness. Hi, hey, hello, how are you? And
so just random people, like, just like, hey.
Yeah, just like people that worked in the hotel. It was just like a big old welcome party, like a tunnel.
Oh, wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. And then, the same kind of thing on game day, same time when you were leaving for practice. And I think when we got to the field, everything was on a time limit. You had slotted times. If you were 1 minute late, that's 1 minute you're taking away. Like, we were moving. And Coach Ford is very big on visualizing and being in the moment. And so we took bags of dirt from our favorite spot on the field at ASU or grass, wherever. Before we left, we laid down and she talked to us, and we just kind of just like started to visualize what it would look like, what it would feel like, what it would smell like. And we did the same thing when we got there. And the next team that was rolling in, I don't remember who they were. And they were just looking at us like, why are they all laying on the ground? But we got to like bring that with us and, lay that foundation there. And then at that point, it was like, all right, we're going to work. Getting into that first game and seeing like how big the stadium was, I was, okay, Maddie, you need to breathe. Yeah. You're going to pass out, or G's going to hit you in the face with the ball because you're not going to catch it. But I think the biggest thing that I remember was when we played Oklahoma, it was just like the Red Sea. Like, it was like, I couldn't even hear. myself think or speak. I don't even know what anybody else was saying. But it's just like electric to that stadium. Like it's just a different kind of feeling. And I feel like everybody that's been there can say that. Like it's not a normal feeling. You're not just out there playing softball. No matter how hard you think that you are, you have to get yourself to just play the game. It is very different. It's just like, oh my goodness. There's 30-something cameras just in one dugout. And I'm like, okay, I'm like, everyone's watching, be on your best behavior, don't say anything.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest thing I would feel like is just electric. Like you almost felt like a professional. You see the MLB, you see all, the NFL and the NBA, like you see all that kind of stuff. And you kind of now see with how they're doing stuff on social media, like their pregame stuff, what they do, like cameras are everywhere. And so at that point in time, like pro softball wasn't huge,
right?
And wasn't making a progression to the way it is now. And so I felt like I was a professional, like I was, oh my goodness. And so I feel like that, and then just the word electric, I feel like those two things can best describe being on that field in that moment with those people. It was just insane. And something I obviously didn't like the way things ended. No. But, those kind of things I like to hold on to because it motivates you, which is crazy to see. But like, I didn't want to feel like that again. And I wanted to get back there to rewrite history in a sense of like when ASU won back in the day, rewrite that history. Right. Not, you know what I mean? Not the bad, but the great.
Yeah. I know what you're saying. Exactly.
Yeah.
No,
okay.
For sure. But I mean, I've talked to a lot of players on here that have been in that environment, and they've said the same thing. Like they said, it's a totally different animal when you step into OKC.
Yeah, it's different. It consumes your whole body, and you have to figure out, how to calm yourself down and just do what you've been doing your whole life.
Yeah, exactly. So, okay. So, I mean, we kind of touched on it a little bit earlier in quick pitches. So there's a game I got to bring up from 2019 season that absolutely blows my mind. You guys in Utah, you're down 17-9 going in the bottom of the seventh. You guys score 9 and walk it off. Not only, is that incredible, but the fact that you and Kindra combined for 5 home runs and 11 RBIs is just crazy. So tell us about that game.
Crazy is a great word to start with. I don't even know, like being there, it never felt like I was losing. No matter how many times I was watching the runs, just the next player just touch home plate and that player, and then just an ongoing, like a merry-go-round. And I never felt like we were losing. And I think that's the biggest thing that young softball players have to understand, is that kind of composure and that kind of confidence that you're never out of the game. And, that game is a perfect example. Is just because you may be down, it's just a number, but you follow the plan, you execute, you do the little things right, a high percentage you're going to come out on top and you're going to win. So during that game, I mean, Harger has always been, since he stepped on at ASU, have a plan in the box. You're going to sit aside, pretty much. You're going to sit inside, you're going to sit outside. You might be sitting a pitch. Like at that point, the girl's throwing a fastball or a drop ball, and she's throwing a changeup. So you're either going to sit the hard or you're going to sit soft. Right. I mean, I don't even know how many at-bats I got that day, 5 or 6 or something. And I was like, all right, we're just going to have some fun now. I feel like I know what's coming. And I felt like that day I was seeing beach balls. And I was, here we go. Yeah. And again, I never felt like we were losing. So just to have that confidence that, in the calmness, to just go in the box, be confident with your approach and your plan and stick to it. When you keep things that simple, where you're sitting inside or outside, you have a high chance of being on time for that side of the plate And that's the biggest thing. And you're swinging at strikes, be on time, swing at strikes.
Mm-hmm.
And you swing hard. Get in the box to do damage.
Yeah, exactly.
Those are the three things that I have taken myself and I have continued to implement into my teaching. And I think just that game, it was just like, I was just speechless. I mean, when Ali Tatnall got up and I was, we're doing this. Like, there's no stopping. Just keep them going. And the funny thing is, and a lot of people don't know unless it's in an article somewhere, but Ali Tatnall thought that she was the tying run.
That's right too. Yes.
Yes, she thought she was a tying run. And so to hear that, I was, oh my goodness, that's so funny. That makes it better.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just do the little things right, and it usually works out in favor. But I think I can't speak for my sister, but I knew, when I hit a home run, I honestly knew more times than she did that she was going to hit a home run. And when she did it, I knew that, wow, we just had another game of home runs. Wait, no, we're in the same inning and we both just hit home runs. And I'm, hold up, did we just do that?
That's insane.
And it's just, it really is. And it's just like something that anytime anybody asks me, that is probably like the best, besides going to the World Series. That is the memory that I always say. It's just crazy because a lot of people thought the game was over. The announcers already announced who the player of the game was from the other side of the team. And
no way. Really?
Yes. Like if you go back and watch the game.
Oh, wow.
And I was, well, a little too soon. Love both of the announcers to death, but a little too soon. Yeah. So it was just like a lot of things that a lot of people are like, oh, this game's over. You're down 8 runs now. No.
Yeah. That's hilarious. See, now I feel like that game's going to come in handy for your coaching because you can pull that one out of your back pocket for motivational speech if you're down by a few, late in the game.
A lot of my players have always, every day there's always some new question I get asked. Hey, Coach Maddi, what was it like it being hey, Coach Maddi, do you remember that game? Hey, their best one right now is when I missed that squeeze bunt and when we played Washington my last year.
All right.
And Kindra scored on the 2-runner.
Yep.
Yeah, and I missed, and they love to give me so about that. You guys, thanks.
Yeah.
I told that there was no movement, and right when I squared a bunt, I saw a drop coming, and I was not prepared. Well, good thing we practiced 2-runner offensive every single day. So, and I'm happy that those 2 were on base.
Yeah, really. Oh, wow. That's hilarious. Okay, I got to ask about 2020 season. Because, I mean, what were the emotions like, when they canceled that season? Because, at that point, you weren't sure if you were able to come back for another season, correct?
Yeah, I was a mess.
Yeah.
We were actually we were on a bus on our way to UCLA, and we were coming up to our stop. We were 2 hours into the drive. We're coming up to the stop, gas station, right before getting into California. And Coach Wynn comes closer to where the girls are and told us that the games were canceled, that we're turning around and we're going back. And we're all thinking like, okay, what happened? And Cielo is across from me, and I just see her just start bawling. And so I go back and give her a hug, and I'm like, it's going to be okay. And at that point, I just started bawling, and everybody's looking back at the seniors because we're all sitting in the back of the bus, and everybody else starts crying. And then finally get back to ASU, and we sit down, and Coach Ford's just trying to tell us, and my head's just down. Mm. Like, I was just crying, and the seniors went into Coach Ford's office after that meeting with the team, and she kind of told us, everything's going to be okay. We don't have a lot of answers, but everything's going to be okay. And she looked at me and said, do you have anything to say? I want you guys to be able to talk to me. And I don't know. I have nothing to say. Like at that point, like my heart was in my stomach. My stomach was up in my throat. As this is in real life. Like, what is going on? And yeah, we didn't know. And then when it got announced, I was like, "There's no way." Okay, so what does this look like? How am I supposed to work out? When do I get to go to the field and hit?
Yeah.
Then it was just like, there's lockdown, and I was, oh my goodness, I'm gonna drive myself insane. But I think a lot of people either had a hard time with COVID and the quarantine, or a lot of people came out better. And I think COVID was hard for me, but I learned a lot about myself during that time. And I mean, we're still dealing with COVID, but I'm happy that, fans get to go back and watch and players get to play. I mean, that whole process when we came back was insane. Like, if you got COVID and you were around someone that tested positive for COVID, you had to sit out for a certain amount of days. The process, if you did test positive for COVID, you had this process. You had to go get all the couple heart tests done, and the scheduling of that was just insane because you went to the school for that, but they had to call you. And at that time, you have multiple sports going on, so it got prioritized that football went first,
right?
And so then the other heart test was outsourced at a different location in Scottsdale, and it took me 5 weeks to get back on the field.
Wow.
And it was, okay, you go get it done. Okay, it's going to take a week for results. Okay, you got to wait to get this done. Okay, it's going to take another week for those results to come back. And it was just a waiting game. And I was sitting here, I'm going crazy because during quarantine at that time, I was working out every day. I was hitting every day. Like, I was just, I'm in go mode. Let's do it. When does practice start? Let's get after it. Like, when does scrimmages start? Because I want to welcome some freshmen to ASU. Like, I want to have some fun. And so I was like kind of in a little panic mode. And I was like, the fall is where you put in all the work. Like, you got to get ready. Like, this, I want to show my coaches that I'm here to finish it. Like, I'm here to do this thing.
How long after was it that you guys got word that you were able to come back as, to redshirt?
When did they, what was it? A week or two after, I think.
Yeah. I didn't think it was that long.
Yeah. No, it wasn't.
That had to be a relief though. I mean, yeah, for sure.
So then we kind of waited, we didn't know at that time. You mean, obviously you're finishing up school.
Yeah.
So I was focusing on that, kind of just making sure. I didn't really do a lot of softball. Obviously, I didn't know where to go. And then around May, I got a trainer, Jaden, who is still my trainer, one of my best friends. And I got a nutritionist. Her name's Sam, still with her.
Nice.
And kind of really heavily invested into myself. I was seeing a sports psychiatrist. I was working out every day, sometimes twice a day. If I couldn't sleep, I was at that when they opened up, ASU and stuff. I'd go hit, or if they're not, I was going to D-bats and I was hitting. It's a hitting facility that I would go hit at. Spend like $20 to go hit for like 30 minutes, and during that time, it was over the summer. I had Miley McElmore. I had brought her in to work out with me, so we would go work out and then we would go hit, and it was the same routine every day. And so that was fun. Some other people that Bella Loomis and Marissa Schultz, both were some other people that brought in. Kindra worked out with me too. So, one thing that Coach Ford told me is you can become this great person and this great athlete, on your own, but you're not the only one out in the field. Right. Leaders lead, leaders bring. Yeah. And at that point, it was kind of, well, I want to lead. I want to be a leader. I want you to have confidence in me that, I'm going to put this team on my back and we're going to go.
Yeah.
Came up with the slogan on the boat. And everybody was on board with it.
No pun intended.
Yeah. And got to a point where, like, you know, you have hours at ASU, obviously at any program you have hours. We would ask like the GAs or just other teammates to stay and, hey, let's go hit some more.
Yeah.
Can you hit me fungo? Can you hit me some gravel? Yep, let's do it. We would be there. We would ask to put the lights on between 8 and midnight, and we were there that time, just hitting on the field, just ball after ball after ball.
Nice.
I would even do that sometimes by myself, you know, when I needed to escape a little bit. It was funny one night, the lights were all on, and there's like those like emergency, you know, police things that the buttons.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And right center, like I don't even know, maybe 20 feet past the fence. And I had hit the button from home plate off the tee, and I was, oh my goodness, a cop is going to show up here and looking around, and I'm the only one here. And I'm like, okay, Maddi, pick him up. You got to go. This is not happening.
That's amazing.
I was like, I just did that. And then, you know, another thing that, you know, I missed, Jazz Hill, we were in a hitting group together, and the palm trees, I would hit the palm trees at practice, and I was like, all right, which one am I aiming for today? And she's like, that one right there, hit the palm tree right there. And she would just jump up like it was like the best thing. Like she had one a stuffed animal at the carnival come out. It's just like, it just made me happy because, you know, she was a freshman at the time, and I was like, oh, this is awesome, like team bonding.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's something that she always told me, you got to hit the palm tree. So
nice.
Just little things like that.
Yes. Well, I mean, awesome. obviously that hard work paid off. I mean, because, you know, that final season, All-American, hit 384, tied a single season home run record at the time with 20. I mean, that had been, you know, a special way to finish it out, though.
Yeah, of course. You know, everybody, I feel like, even if they don't want to admit it, they have their own kind of accolades that they strive for. You know, everybody wants to be an All-American. You know, their school records. Everybody's. I mean, look at Jossie,
right?
Just a beast. You know, and obviously, home run record was something that, you know, I've strived for. Never thought that everything else that came with it would come. You know, and never. I don't want to sound cocky when I say this because I'm not a cocky person, but like, again, I really enjoy, you know, everything that comes with the being a student athlete, and that's including the fans. And I never thought I would have that image to be like, oh my goodness, like to have fans like that, that love you, that genuinely love you. Right. You know, they light up little kids' faces. And so I never really thought that I would have that image, but, you know, again, hard work does pay off. Obviously not thrilled with the way season ended. You know, everybody wants to get back. I think at that time, I personally was going through stuff. Everybody knows now, you know, I have kind of spoke my story with becoming a type 1 diabetic. So that's kind of when it all hit. I don't like to say a lot of this stuff just because, like, what I'm going to say next, like, I don't talk about it because people look at me like I'm crazy, but like I did play somewhat kind of blind during regionals. At that point, the sugar in my blood and behind my veins in my eyes was like just full force ahead, and did not have the best vision. And at that point I was like, I got to pull myself out. I can't even see. Like, how are you catching the ball? Like, really, I was wondering, like, how are you catching the ball? Bucks, Guardian Angels, my glove, I couldn't tell you. I really couldn't. And it was to a point where, like, I could close my eyes. Okay, focus. But at that point, the strain on my eyes and the pace of the game was moving so fast that I couldn't catch up. And I'm like, I can't do this. I got to pull out. I got to get out of this game. I'm going to seriously hurt myself. I'm going to have 2 eye patches on my face. I'm not going to be able to have eyeballs. So I'm not happy with that ending. You know, I wanted to do more. Yeah. Well, that had to be tough for you to pull yourself. Yeah. Oh, I was very frustrated. I wanted to break something. Yeah, no doubt. But I knew that, like, I told the trainer, and I looked at him and I said, I'm done. That last game, and I said, I'm done. I can't see. I can't even see you. I don't even know how I'm talking to you right now. And I went down. There's you go down and then you go back up. There's like a door to go back up into like a locker room.
Right.
And at that time we're the visitors, so it's like I can't go into my own locker room and scream. So there was like a table up there that had like from NCAA that had like snacks on it, and I just grabbed that table and I was just like holding back tears because I knew that I didn't have time to cry right now. We had game left. I needed to go be that Maddi of a leader. Mm-hmm. And it was tough because I kind of felt like there was a sense of that everybody gave up.
Oh, really?
And no coming back. And, to have that feeling that I did in that Utah series to then having that feeling like, oh my goodness, I let them down, and it wasn't fun. And I felt like I let a lot of people down, my fans, my family, myself, my sister, my teammates, Coach Ford, in that moment. But I knew that it was all going to be okay.
Right.
Everybody's going to go on with life, and it just wasn't our year.
Yeah.
But I got to say that I went to the World Series, and so I had to keep telling myself, you went there, and he gave Coach Ford everything he had. And that was one thing that after every year, they kept telling, okay, we got half of you this year. We got 75% of you this year. We want all of you. All right, you're going to get it.
Yep.
Just break yourself. Got in shape, and Coach Ford looked at me and she says, "You're too skinny." I said, "No, Coach Ford, I'm fit. Watch how my numbers jump when we go on hit tracks. Like 80 something exit velo. And see, I'm not skinny. I'm just fit."
Yeah.
Like, tell me you eat more. I was like, "Coach Ford, I'm having like 6 meals a day right now. Like, I don't know how much more you want."
Yeah.
So
that's awesome. So, I mean, what's life like now being a type 1 diabetic?
Oh, I wish there was words that type 1 diabetics can explain their life.
Yeah. I have a cousin that's one. I have a cousin that's one. So I see what he goes through.
Yeah. And it's, a lot of people are like, "Oh, you can't have sugar." And it's like, no, not it.
Yeah.
But it's been a roller coaster, honestly. It's been a lot of learning, and it's something that, I can honestly say that I don't think I will ever fully understand or accept or come to peace with. I felt like, after I posted about it, and I feel better now, because there's highs and lows, like, literally, of your blood sugar every day. And it was just like, it's not just the blood sugar. It affects your whole body. It affects your mood. It affects your brain. It affects your well-being, and it's never going away. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Type 2, you can work your butt off and eventually, over a course of time, get rid of it.
Yep.
Type 1's never going away. You know what I mean? It's something that, once you get it, you got to figure it out in a sense of for yourself. So that way nothing negatively happens to you down the line. Mm-hmm. A lot of people don't understand that it is physically in your blood, and your blood is a key part of living. So, people still just say, "Oh, I'm sorry, you can't have that." I was like, I can have that. I just need medicine to eat it.
Right.
And so, now I am on a pump. I got on a pump before I went to AUX. A big thing that I'm learning is, working out is important, but a lot of people, like for my case, like if I go and lift weights and I do a leg day, my blood sugar is going to rise because I'm pitching out. If I'm doing an upper body day, it's going to stay neutral. If I'm doing cardio, it's going to go down. So it's just a lot of stuff that I've had to figure out. But I feel like I fell in love with the gym during quarantine, and so I want to be able to use my experience, not just for softball kids, boy or girl that are diagnosed and love the sport, but also for gym rats, people that love to work out. Like, I want to be an advocate. I want to be able to learn more about it and, come up with my own slogan, come up with my own merch and stuff, and just kind of be that outlet. I feel like, Scotty Graham told me, he's one of the football coaches now at U of A. When he was at ASU, he used to go see him all the time. He told me that what he sees in me and what he thinks my purpose in life is to love, serve, and to care. And ever since that day, it clicked, and you're absolutely right.
Wow.
And I've held on to it, and I've done my very best to implement that and to do that every single day. The hardest thing I had to learn was I needed to do that to myself first before I can do to others.
Yeah.
And so, with the diabetes thing, it's really a really huge to do it for myself, because like I have to know, high and low, even though the sensor's telling me the sensor could be wrong. It could be crooked that needle could be crooked into your arm and not, and so it's definitely been a roller coaster, but, and it's that roller coaster. I'm never getting off that roller coaster.
That's right. Yeah.
It's always going to change. You never, I don't think I'm going to get used to every 3 months going for a checkup, getting blood drawn, and my veins are not popping. So it's not fun to go get those needles shoved in my arm.
Yeah, but if you keep working out the way you are, they're going to be.
Like the way you're thinking. See, I like the way you're thinking. I'm trying to figure out, certain foods that, affect it more, that way I can kind of make my life somewhat normal for me. That way, there's mood swings, there's a lot of things. I've noticed that when I'm high, I don't feel good.
Right.
I'm tired, fatigued. For the first year of my diabetes, I was living in the 180 to 300 range. We couldn't figure it out.
Wow.
No matter how much insulin I was pushing through my body, we could never really figure it out. And so now the pump, like it's awesome. It's easier to manage. But when I go low, it's like, what am I, kind of shaky a little bit, but I get very irritable,
right.
Like just lash out on anybody that's in sight. And it's like, I'm so sorry. I did not mean to. I just like looked at my thing and it said that I'm at like 50. So do you have any candy that I can borrow?
Give me a donut, would you? Give me a donut. It's a constant battle, Yeah.
I've gotten used to living with a headache 24/7, but I would rather have it be living than not be living at all.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you have this platform that you have that you can use to, promote awareness on it, correct?
Of course.
Yeah. That's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm working on it. It's definitely something that, I want to do.
Yeah. Well, you're new with it, right?
Why I got into coaching was, to change someone's life. I want to impact someone. I want to inspire somebody. I don't want to think people have to stay stuck where, people come from certain backgrounds and they think that, that's just their life. No, like you work hard for what you want, you're going to get it, and something that I learned, and something that's the reason why I want to impact someone's life. And if I can do that in different ways, I'm take full advantage of that.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
Yeah.
Now, you touched on AUX there. How cool was that experience for you?
It was really cool. I honestly didn't know what to expect. And I think it happened at a very perfect time in my life. Being able to just kind of revisit softball.
Yeah.
Something I've loved my entire life, but I really fell in love with playing like all aspects of it. And so just to be able to have that opportunity and, that to also another person see like, what about Maddi Hackbarth? And to get that text from Sam Fisher, hey, do you want to play? And I'm like, yeah, where do I sign?
I love Sam. Sam is the best.
Yeah, love her. And I was so happy that I got to be on the team, and she's awesome.
Yeah.
Didn't really know what to expect going in. And I was, I'm just going to do my best to go in there, and just do my best to play softball and to make memories. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity. I don't know if I'm going to get it again. So I'm going to do my best to make the best of it. Got to play with people I never thought I would. Got to make friends with people that I never thought I would. And just AUX and AU, just in general, what it's doing for women, let alone in their life, but also through the sport, and giving them the opportunity to, make it somewhat of a career.
Yeah.
And and it's huge, you know. I think our sport, just softball in general, is growing, you know, worldwide, nationally, you know, on TV. Everybody wants to look at those ratings after the World Series, but, you know, get to be on ESPN. Who would have thought that,
Yeah,
you know,
really.
anybody, you know what I mean? And so just, even though, you know, maybe I didn't play as much, but just to have the opportunity to just be there, it was awesome. And I hope that, you know, they wanted me to go to AU. Victoria Hayward reached out, and, you know, I was like, I just got my job. Let me reach out to my boss and kind of see like some dates. You know, unfortunately it didn't work out. I would be in and out of market too much.
Right.
Being able, you know, having to come back for meetings and first day of school and move-in day and all that stuff, you know, responsibilities. So she's like, you know, AUX next year, and we'll see about AU as well. You know, get your feet wet and all this stuff. So, you know, just to be able to have kind of like the potential to go do it again, is cool. You know, not a lot of people get the opportunity. So I'm happy that my name's even still in the conversation.
Definitely. I mean, I preach about it all the time on here. I love AU, like ever since it, like, you know, it was an outlet when the pandemic, you know, was going on, and you know, just the whole format of the draft every week, and it's just a different twist for the game that I feel, you know, it's really fun to watch. Yeah,
it is. It's awesome.
Yeah,
watched it since the first season, and happy I got to be a part of it.
Yeah, and hopefully again later on there in AUX next year. That'd be awesome. Now, we have a little thing that we like to end the podcast with. Call player association. I'm gonna throw out some names to you, and you can say as much or as little about them as you want. If you have a story, let it fly.
Okay.
All right. First one. You touched on it right off the get-go. Sis Bates.
I love her. So funny thing, not a lot of people know, and I think, you know, it's awesome to be able to have a platform where you kind of tell a couple fun facts. Sis, obviously her name is Nicole. Her middle name is Lynn. My middle name is Lynn. Kinder's middle name is Nicole. So
What?
we all found that out. We're like, oh my God, we're like attached. Like,
that's amazing, actually.
Yeah. So we always just like look at each other, and she is somebody, there's only a handful of people that call me by my real name, which is Madison, and Sis is one of them. And I mean, even if we didn't play together, it still felt like we were on the team, like together. Like anytime she got on the box, it was hi, Sis. And I was happy that I got the opportunity to play with her, but just to be able to be at that next level, the pro level, you know, it was just a full circle moment. And we both talked about that while I was driving and she was flying down to San Diego. So yeah, a little fun fact about Sis and all of us.
she put on a show at AUX. I gotta say, like,
did she?
Oh,
someone needs to give her. Someone needs to give. I felt so bad. I wanted to give her like rip out the knee pads from my shin guards. And, okay, here I just know that dirt hurts, but you know what? You keep making them plays, just not when I do that, please.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, you did that in college. You don't need to do it here. Like, oh, you're good. Just let me get one.
Yeah, she's like, oh, there's money involved. I have to.
Yeah, she's like, I can do that.
Oh, that's great.
Like, this is my job.
Yeah.
All right. Paycheck? So please no.
Yeah, exactly. Next I have is Allie Tatnell.
Oh, I love her. I'm supposed to get on the phone call with her and catch up. She is still in Tempe, but I called her the walk-off queen. She is just a bundle of joy just to be around. And just even like for her, I would love if she could just tell her story. Cause I mean, she kind of went on the same kind of fitness journey as I did. And, you know, kind of, she loves to love, but she loves herself. And she kind of went through that same process with me during quarantine. And, we came really close our senior year, even a super senior year. I would go over to her apartment, and she would teach me how to play guitar, and we would sit there and we would just play. I mean, I was terrible. She was great, but it was a lot of bonding And she honestly is one of my best friends. Like, we don't always have to talk a lot, but I know that if I text her, Snapchat her, call her, she's going to text me back, or she's going to get back to me later. She's going to call me back, whatever it is. She's always there. But just to be able to see her just accept everything. She was what's the word I'm looking for? When you get into a college program, you have to find your role. She's a good example of knowing what her role is and just being awesome at it. If she's a DH, she's going to get in and take her hacks.
Yep.
If she wasn't playing that day, she's going to make sure that dugout is hype. All the cheers going on, the clapping, bouncing around, dancing. She just was everybody's bundle of joy. You look at her and you automatically smiled. And it just made your day. You know, just to have someone be that happy around you. I love her. Again, walk-off queen. Yeah. She is awesome. I love her as a human being, and she's just great.
The ultimate team player is what,
yes. Yeah.
All right, 2 more here. You may have touched on her a little bit here, Coach Tricia Ford.
She's like my second mom. I love her so much. She has taught me a lot about myself through the sport of softball. I've obviously, everybody has their ups and downs, and she really got a lot out of me. She really pushed. She knew when to push and to when to kind of hold. But I loved that out of her. During my recruiting process, there was a point in time I was like, my coaches need to have kids. I need to know that I'm going to be taken care of. I was coached, except for 2 during travel ball, I was coached by men. And so I was always learning tough love, like figure it out. Like I got used to the yelling, but I knew that it was coming from a good place.
Right.
So I could handle it. And she was not afraid to yell. She was not afraid to tell anybody what was on her mind and what needs to be done. But she always came and checked on you. She always made sure that you were okay. And she would know when you weren't okay before you knew that you weren't okay. I knew that I can go and talk to her whenever I wanted. And just for her to push me and to tell me there's more out of you. If she never did that, I don't think I would be where I am today. I am so happy that she's getting to be at Texas A&M, and I can't wait to see what she does at that program. I'm going to tell her I need some tickets so I can come watch. I need to see this facility.
Yeah.
But she's amazing. She's been in my life since I was in the 8th grade. She knew about all my injuries. She knew how to take care of me. Being a catcher, your knees are just busted.
Right.
Knock on wood. I hope that's wood. Somewhere I'll find wood again.
Here, I'll knock. I knocked for you.
Thank you. I never had any surgeries. I never tore anything, but definitely had a lot of pain. But she made sure that I was taken care of. In a sense of, okay, if this is hurting her, we need to figure out an alternate route. So the first couple years of college, I didn't run because I was in so much pain, like bone on bone rubbing. Oof. Both knees. And so we figured out, okay, the bike, the elliptical, whatever. And so that became a thing. And I remember running again was probably the biggest accomplishment that I had at ASU. During quarantine, when I got that trainer, I told him, he was like, we're getting on treadmill. And I told him, Jaden, I haven't ran. I don't run. He's like, what do you mean you don't? And he taught me how to run the right way. And he did it in a way that made me feel safe and confident that I wasn't going to hurt myself. Because then I don't want to get hurt because I want to play softball.
Right.
And remember that I had a different test than everybody else. Everybody had to run shuttles or the half gassers and whatnot. And I remember coming back and I slowly started running again at conditioning. I mean, I wasn't like full force into it. Like I had a little bit of my own, but I was running again and I was, all right, let's do it. So then we went and tested, and then obviously the coaches come there and you're like, oh my goodness, your heart starts racing and you're like, don't fail. And I remember it was half gassers and you had to pass 8 out of 10. And I was in the 20-second group. So down and back in 20 seconds. And I was, I'm making this. I remember my last one, I sprinted. And once I finished and knew that I passed, I just kept going. We were in the dome, so on a full-size football field.
Oh, yeah.
I kept going. All I said, I just hear Coach Ford scream and clap, like, go, Maddi, like, there you go. And I just kept walking. And I was crying, and I just did that. Like, oh, my goodness. And I walked back. Could not feel my legs. Like, we stretched. Like I not have sat down, like I can't feel my legs. And I remember and just walking up there and hugging her, and it was just like, I just did that. And to see somebody go from where I was to then relearning all again. I mean, yes, it's not a major thing, but it was to me. And for Coach Ford to know all of my history with my knees and all the MRIs and, well, how's Maddi's MRI? Is Maddi okay? Like, just like to know someone cared that much and to just be that proud, again, like mom figure. Yeah. And it was awesome. Hitting multiple home runs. She just looked at me and it got like, she would always come give me a high five, but then she would look at me like not that it was expected out of me, but she knew that it was happening. And she just looked at me like, you're awesome. And I just felt that. And I was like, I'm awesome. Like I just did that. I just hit a home run against Baylor, against my old best friend, which I love. I will always have love for her. And then I remember that whole week we were practicing hitting like 90-mile-an-hour fastball off a machine, and everybody's just hitting the big toe on their right foot instead of the front foot, not even making contact. And Baylor had a pitcher that was throwing like 72 miles an hour. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, okay, here we go. And then do that. And she looked at me and I just did that. I just want, I just hit a 72-mile-an-hour drop ball on the outside in a no stride over the fence. I just want you to know that.
Wow.
She was like, oh my God. And it was just awesome. It's just the look in her eyes, like it touched your soul. Mm-hmm. The way that she looked at me, it was, because she knew everything. She always knew everything. I always talked to her about everything, no matter if it was softball related or personal related. And it was, she just always had me strive for better and tell me you're going to be okay.
That's awesome.
Keep going. And so I have the word persevere tattooed on my body. And that's something that every time I look at that, I always think of her, because she always told me, keep going, yep. As well as my mom does. But, it's when you're away from home and you have that kind of figure, yep. It makes all the difference.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome. And of course, last but not least, you know her well, Kindra Hackbarth.
She's probably on the other side of this door right now listening to me. I'm just kidding. I mean, I don't.
Telling the dog to be quiet, or
yes, all the Goldens. I don't know what to say about 22. Mm-hmm. Besides that, I will forever be proud of her. Everybody's always asked, who's in whose shadow, and we bounced around shadows, honestly.
Yeah.
I told you earlier about, the being full statement. That's when she excelled, because she didn't like that, she wanted to strive for greatness as well. Mm-hmm. And to see everything that she's done at ASU, the hits and stolen bases, triples, all this stuff, triple threat, like slapping balls over the fence. Like, there's just stuff that a lot of people can't do, or don't get the opportunity to do that she's done. And to be able to be front row to that and to just watch her excel. Mm-hmm. I don't think she'll ever admit it, but I know that I was probably her biggest fan. And sometimes I was silent about it. Like, she'd be up and I'd be sitting on the bench, but I'd be crunched over, like, let's go, Twos. Like, you get a job done. you're a little bit over today, and I need you to get a hit, please.
Yeah.
I don't want to listen to you.
Yeah, the tough love.
Dinner later, like, just hit the ball that's coming right over the plate, please. Just that one that's over middle, just hit it.
Just hit it,
hard.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing, obviously home runs are great, but to watch her run around bases the way that she did, I was just like, oh, there she goes. Good luck. Yep, you're not getting her.
Yeah.
No, you're not getting her either. I don't care if you're in the outfit. You're not getting her. She's safe. I think that was huge. And I think, watching her do that, I was just like, wow, it's crazy. Because you watch wide receivers just take off. But do it in a circle on a base path, it's like crazy. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like every time I get asked that question, I get more and more speechless. But 22 she actually wore that number because of Sis Bates. Oh. She came in and 20 was taken just as well as 23 was taken our first year. So I was 13 and she was 22. But she wore 22 because of Sis.
Right.
So we can type to question number, I don't remember, 1 or 2. But yeah, it's just, I can't even put it into words. The mark that she left at ASU is one thing a lot of people will remember. And I'm just happy that I got to be a part of it, Yeah. I remember going through the process with her, and I told her just as well as I told every coach that I talked to, mine and my sister are not a package deal. Don't feel the need to recruit both of us. And I told her too, is we don't need to go to the same place. College is a one-time thing, and I want you to go where you want to go. And I feel like when we did commit to Notre Dame that, she was following me. I did love that place. I mean, that place is absolutely gorgeous. And then I think when we got to ASU, it was kind of like, okay, we're at home. And it was cool. I mean, she did get on my nerves a little bit. Can't give her that much problem. She drives me absolutely up a wall.
Of course.
He drove me up a wall today about it is incredible. I could climb a mountain right now. I love her. She's my sister. She's awesome. Yeah. 22 will always be a mark in somebody's life. It definitely is mine. And I'm just happy that we have to do it together and kind of write our own stories.
Yep.
But yeah, she's cool. I guess.
That seems like a great way to end her there, Maddi. That's quite a podcast, I got to say. That's listen, I got to thank you for coming on. This has been such a fantastic talk. Opening up about everything has been awesome, to hear and, raising awareness for, diabetics and everything. I mean, and talking about your career, but, I wish you nothing but the best going forward with the coaching career, AUX, everything, again, thanks for coming on.
Thank you. I appreciate you and the podcast. I wish you nothing but success, and I hope that many more athletes get to come on and tell their story, and you guys get to have a great time just like I did today.
Awesome. Thanks, Maddi. Take care.
I don't mind. See, I'm not gonna let me go crazy, not this time. I'm going through changes, I'm gonna make it for sure. I'm going through changes that I've been here before.
I haven't stepped out of my house in 7 days. Heaven shaved, heaven showered, heaven changed. Same clothes, different day. Another good morning pissed away. Hey, got the whole world looking right at me. Actually, feels like people starting to look past me. I've been around. Feels like this just might be a last dance. I'm frustrated, I'm past tense. I still don't feel like I has been. I don't, but it's like a ghost town up in the studio. Nobody comes around here no more. I guess it's just how the movie go. I don't like playing my old friends' new songs. They don't listen to rap like back when. They all grew up, kinda moved on. And how could I blame them, huh? I used to sleep, eat, and breathe this shit. But now the older I get, I'm questioning if I really needed this. I used to stress what people said and what people thought about me. Now I worry about if my daughter can make it home from school without me. But still at the same time, as I'm writing this rhyme, I'm in my kitchen. My daughter's trying to tell me about a day I hear but not really listening. I'm staring at her, but in my head I'm putting these words together. I know that I need to do better, cause what I do now could change forever.
Shadows swimming in my head lately, but I don't mind. See, I'm not gonna let me go crazy, not this time. I'm going through changes, I'm gonna make it for sure.
It's a fall from paradise.
I'm going through changes that I've been here before.
And I know I'm so indecisive these days, and musically I feel confused, don't know what I'm like in these days. I just think it's time to check all the new shit, plus all of the...
Are you downsizing? Maybe need more room because of additions to the family, or possibly seeking that dream home you've always wanted? Well, Tim Eisner at Royal LePage Atlantic is the guy for you. With a proven track record and multiple awards, Tim goes above and beyond to find out your needs and exactly what you're looking for. So if you're seeking a new home or trying to sell your current one, contact Tim at 902-499-5717 or check him out on Facebook at Tim Eisner. Again, that's 902-499-5717. Trust me, when all is said and done, we'll be saying Tim Eisner strikes again.